Hello, and welcome to Telenovela Jasmin. And today we're going to talk about the one conversation no one really ever gets tired of. It's dating. And let's start in the very beginning, like who makes the first move? What's actually attractive for women and men? And what's the difference about chemistry and compatibility? Let's be honest. The first thing that comes to mind when we're talking about who's attractive, what's attractive to you, it's always the physical appearance in the beginning. I think it's such a instinct that it's so fast that you don't even recognize it. But I mean, if you don't find someone attractive, you're not even looking at him or her. Let's be honest. Come on. Yes, I was talking about this with different people. I do have a lot of male friends, so I kind of interviewed all of them. And I can tell, ladies, it's always like your lips, your figure, like if you're very feminine or very sportive. And for sure, there are men out there who are like the first thing that they're looking at is your eyes, but then it always comes down to your look, like how you also like move your body, your scent, how you talk, what you do have to say, but that comes later on. So in the beginning, and I think the most important thing here is that in the end, I think talking about being attractive, it always comes down to staying true to who you are. And also, I mean, as girls, we do love to dress up, but I think the most important part with dressing up or like doing your makeup, it always should feel and come natural to you. If you don't feel comfortable in your skin, then it will show. Then you know what I do? You know what I always say? It's either you're wearing the dress or the dress is wearing you. Okay. Attractiveness is out of the way. We cleared that up. Now, I think this is the most important part, like how to approach someone. Who's doing the first move? And when you do the first move, how do you do it? I mean, because this is Telenovela Jasmin and it's kind of my world. In my world, sorry, ladies, I would never make the first move as a woman, and I would never ever ask a man out on a date, especially not on the first or second date. So what happened the other day, actually, I was having coffee in one of my favorite cafes, and I was just sitting outside minding my own business. I think I was even doing some YouTube, whatever. And a man came and he was sitting right next to me. And so he sat down, he immediately introduced himself and asked me something. I don't even remember, but it was so kind of like, it was different. It was not the usual, hey, how are you? It was more like, I think he said something like, are you enjoying your coffee? So, and making the first move and approaching someone, and especially inviting someone on a date, always comes down to who makes you feel special, who actually listens to you, and who is not doing only the one sentence that he or she is always using, but being in the moment, being present, and also being aware of what's going on right now, and kind of like, how do you say, like, it's more of a feeling that you feel the other person. And he was sitting right next to me, and yes, he did invite me to a date, and it actually came because we were talking about work and people that we both know and we both work together with. And because, I'm a yoga teacher, and he is in some kind of investment business. So it was actually very interesting conversation, because it's not a usual work that we both do. So we had kind of a same, what basically happened. He did invite me to a date, and I tell you how he did it. we were talking about different kind of stuff, work related, but also we started talking about food and restaurants, and the restaurants he likes to go and some that I like to go. And there was one restaurant that I would love to go, but I haven't been yet. And so we went on to another topic. So it kind of like was not in the center of our conversation, this restaurant. And then he told me that, he had to leave for a meeting, and he asked for the check, and he immediately told the waitress that and now listen up, he was like, yeah, can I have the check? Also, please, for the lady. So he did that very respectful. It was not even looking at me or like asking he should pay. And wait, I will come back to that topic later. Who's paying and so on and so on. But then he asked me so he paid, and then he asked me if I would love to go to this restaurant since I haven't been yet, and he would go there tomorrow at around 7:30, and if I want, I can join him. And I because this was so coming from a different perspective, I just said yes. I'm even surprised. And so we exchanged numbers. He left, there was no physical touching or something. And a few hours later, he texted me that it was so nice meeting me and if I'm still interested in going into that restaurant with him. And I confirmed. And one day, because it was the next day, so one day later, he again texted me around noon that he made the reservation at 7:30 and he is looking forward to see me there. That's how it happened. So I went to this date. And let's go back to, I think that's my personal opinion. That's like how I see the world and how I would love to live as a woman. Is I think it's man's job to make you feel special, especially in the beginning. And I think, and I do have a feeling it comes because I used to live in New York and I used to date a lot in New York, that dating for me is not something where we choose immediately a life partner and who we're going to marry. It's more about, it's also not about the bill. Let's go back to settle later. Wait a second. It's more about the energy, like who makes you feel special, who actually listens, and also who creates space to be yourself. And so it's basically what I sometimes say. It's like basically like a job interview. Because I think, and that's something New York taught me, in like a city where everyone is busy chasing something, that it's always the ones who make you feel special that are the ones worth your time. And so you go on a date, you check everything out, if it aligns with your values, where you, like what kind of person you are, where you want to go in, or what kind of life you want to create. And if this matches, you go on a second date or a third date or whatever. And if it's not matching, then you stop wasting your time. And when he pays, let's be clear, the most attractive thing is never the money. At least not for me. It's more the mindset and the initiative, the care, and always the little ways someone shows you that they're invested. So, I mean, from a female perspective, what I do when I go on a date, for sure, I do an extra skincare routine before. Yeah. The night before, even. Like I put on a peeling, I put on a mask. So then when the day of the date comes, I do put on a special outfit. I do my hair. I do a nice makeup, even maybe a little bit more makeup that I would do throughout the day or for a simple coffee date with a friend of mine. And for sure, you put on the high heels, you take your nice bag, you do the special perfume. So these are the ways I think a woman shows that she's invested and it's important to her to, not only look pretty, but also to always, it's more about being in the female energy. And for me, it's most of the time not when I'm in yoga pants. I mean, it can be, but most of the time I'm in my female energy when I'm like this right now, like wearing a nice skirt or a nice dress, did my hair, did my makeup. And I think it makes me like walk different, talk differently, and just feel more connected to that side of me. And that's, I think, the most attractive thing for a man, like a real man, sorry to say it. That because when the man is very like has this very male energy and you're very in your feminine energy, so because like that's how life works, we have day and night and like dark and light, so male female energy, and then there will be maybe a chemistry that's created by it. And here's where it gets interesting, because what's the difference between chemistry and compatibility? Because I think that's the one thing that most people confuse. Because, I mean, dating is just not a dinner or text or a kiss. It's more of a whole system about attraction, values, energy. Chemistry is always this instant spark, the butterflies, the pull that I can't stop thinking about you. It's the attraction, it's the energy, the hormones, often very electric and exciting. And yeah, chemistry is what makes you stay up at or until 2 a.m. texting or also canceling other plans just to see this special one. And I think here is the part where sometimes people get lost. I even got lost there multiple times because chemistry for a long-term relationship or a relationship at all is not enough. And sometimes you're so in your like, woo, hormones, vibe, spark, instant connection that you get lost in looking what's behind. And if this person really matches your values and what you expect from your life. And here we are. Now we're talking about compatibility and like long-term kind of a rhythm. It's, do your values match? Do you both want the same kind of life? And can you actually build routines, even a family or a future together? And dating is not just romance. It's testing how someone shows up as a partner in life. And compatibility is like when you're also your lifestyle, your timelines, and your priorities align. And if this is not matching and not really aligned, from my experience, the whatever kind of situationship it is, it won't last. And yes, high chemistry, it feels like fire. It's so exciting, intoxicating, and impossible to resist sometimes, but it rarely holds. So this is one side of the story. So when we're talking just about compatibility, let's say there's someone who is perfect for you, but there's not this chemistry, then for sure it feels steady. It feels safe. It's more of a friendship, a little bit dressed up as love. And yeah, it's warm, but it's missing the fireworks and the spark. And yes, I do believe there is both. And what happens when both meet, that's so rare and so powerful that I think this kind of connection is really worth waiting for. And so when you ask what's important now, I think the real answer is chemistry always gets you in the door, but the compatibility keeps you inside. Sometimes I'm kind of sad. I do have to say it like this. I'm kind of sad sometimes that here in Munich, I think there's not enough dating. I love to go on dates and I love to meet new people and listen to their stories. And it's even more beautiful when there is this first spark and connection. And then you go from there. And the problem is that sometimes fear is in the way. And sorry, guys, you have to try. Just ask her out on the date. I mean, is it so bad when someone rejects you and says no? Then you move on and go to the next one. And that's what's, I mean, we do that with restaurants and food. We do that with even different yoga teachers, trainers, with different cars. I mean, when you buy a car, I would like try different cars before I buy one. So I think here, especially in Munich, dating always has this like heaviness from the beginning. Here it takes people so long to even invite someone for a date that sometimes the date is not really happening. So I'm so spoiled because I lived in New York, and in New York, I mean, I met people everywhere, in the subway, in the supermarket, on the street. They invited me. I went to the date. Either it was nice and we did go on a second date, or we moved on. And I think this moving on and letting go part is sometimes so difficult for people that they're so afraid to even go on the first date that you miss out, because you never know. There will be this one special date when chemistry, compatibility, love, physical attraction, and everything will match and will come together. And that's the beauty of life. So I'm happy to dive deeper into this topic, but for now, I can just tell you, just ask her out, go on the date.